Hey guys! Okay, so the reason why I talk so differently than like what most people would talk to their family members like is because when I'm making these videos, I'm like pretending I'm talking to a friend. Um to make it easier on me because talking to my family face to face is like really awkward at times because it's just like I did not get that D in math. Which I didn't this time. Yay, I got a C. I didn't fail. Yes, I got my progress report today finally. Oh my gosh, my fatness. Let's just do this. Okay, sorry. I'm insecure. I'm insecure. No, I'm insecure. I know. But anyways, I got my progress report. And I'm not failing geometry. I'm just like, yes! Yes! Because you see, last year I was in advanced geometry and I was failing so bad. Like, half of the people were able to blame that on my health issues. But I mean, we all know that it really wasn't because of my health issues. Too much. And I'm pretty sure they had a part in it, but the key role was I suck at geometry. I mean, I excel at basic math. Like, my brain is a less than average speed calculator. So, oh my gosh, my bangs. Ugh. You know what? No, that just makes it worse. I'm sorry, I'm watching American Idol. Like, to be honest, the only reason I actually even started watching American Idol was simply because Dalton Rapatoni was on American Idol. Because you see, y'all might not know this, but he was in a band called IM5, and I loved it. So, when I found out that he was on it, I was just like, maybe I'll watch this season. Because, I'm not an avid fan of American Idol. I have grown up with it so much. My birth mother, when I lived with her in Kimberly, there was this huge poster of Ruben Studdard on the wall that I would see just, like, staring out into the living space. And, covering up that hole that my father punched. And, don't know how they slipped away with that. Big, like, gaping hole. But, just, but anyways, and then, I don't ever remember the Irvines watching American Idol, but I do remember, one of our foster mothers, Miss Debbie, we would all sit around this ovalish, coffee table and, watch American Idol. My mom tends to watch American Idol, and, I loved the American Idol era of, toys and Happy Meals. Because I loved getting the microphone purely because it was what resembled a microphone most in my possessions. And I loved singing and pretending that, I was a star. Even though, let's face it, I was just singing quietly in my room where no one could hear me to a bunch of invisible air people. Anyways, so I have literally grown up with American Idol. Oh yeah. My grandma was actually such a fan Bo Bice, that, and so were her coworkers, that my sister and I both got Bo Bice pins, like those round button pins, with his face and name on it. And an American Idol contestant 2 years ago, who was from Alabama, came to my middle school. He wasn't a winner, but he was from Alabama, and he came to my middle school and basically gave us an hour-long speech about drugs and his life choices. Now, I'm not judging his life choices. Well, I'm judging one, and that was to come and tell a bunch of middle schoolers about drugs and hard times, and how his life was harder than ours will ever be. That he didn't need to know our life stories to know that. So, it was on Fox News. Too bad I didn't actually watch Fox News. I still don't. So I didn't see that. But I do know that you could see a blurred version of me from, my friends. Because, they said that they saw them in the angle. And it was the friends that I was just, 1 or 2 rows above. So it's just I was on the news. I mean, I was in the newspaper before, but again, that was a blurred version of me. We had a canned dog food drive, at my elementary school, and, my entire, grade got to have their picture in the newspaper, and I legit had Molo drive me to every newspaper stand there was until we finally found one. And this was back during the time that Randy Jackson was still an idol. This was back during the time that Simon Cowell was still a judge on American Idol. And I know because I saw an ad for it. But I pointed, I could just see myself. My sister was just, how do you know that's you? I was like, because I was the only one sitting in that position. And then my sister was like, oh, she's in the news. And I was like, Mom, I'm in the news. I was a glass half full kind of kid. I got excited over bubblegum flavored lip gloss. So, I would get excited over anything. But anyway, I'm just really excited that I didn't fail. And I've been kind of wavering a decision on whether or not I should actually go to college. My mom says that with as smart as I am, that it'd be a waste. And I'm just my progress report is proof that I am not that smart anymore. I mean, I used to actually be considered really smart. Not to brag. But, I was that kid that everyone came to either copy off of my homework, and I legit let no one just straight up copy off of me. I would go through the step-by-step process of how to get there. So I would literally, have a group of kids around me at my table and just be like, okay, so here's how you get this. Okay, so you know how 5 times 5 equals 25, right? You just reverse that. Sometimes, though, they still didn't get it, but it was whatever. I felt so bad if I ever gave them any wrong advice. And I know my friend Dylan's like, what? like if he's watching this, my friend Dylan will just be like, well, it wasn't your problem. I mean, their grades are their grades. Sometimes you have to make something your problem because you can't just, like, it'd be selfish to be excelling through all this, going through it like a breeze, and only to watch your fellow classmates continuously struggle and not do anything to help them. I mean, that's how karma comes back and gets you. So yeah, but when let me tell you where my downfall started. When they started putting letters into the numerical system, and then having operations for that. Why does y equal mx plus b? Why? I mean, why? When will we ever, like, I legit asked my teacher, my math teacher, besides during our time in the educational system, when are we ever going to use this in life? I never got an answer. Never. Oh yeah, speaking of karma. Oh yeah, and I'm in advanced history now because I don't understand how they thought I could handle that. But it's probably because, I was in pre-AP history the year before and, didn't do too bad. But to be honest, I have no idea how I got through that because I had no idea what I was doing. And then, you've got Spanish. That's learning a whole other language. I mean, I know I picked up English pretty fast. I just spit and that was okay. Considering how much of a grammar Nazi I was, and kind of still am. But, I mean, learning a whole other language? I'm not ready for that. Let's see here. And there's health. Why do we have to learn health? Like, the thing that I hate most about health is that they teach us, like, they scare us out of, like, they try to scare us out of sex. I mean, with how sexually active my high school is, let's face it. Like, that's some of y'all's answers. That, y'all wouldn't wait to have sex, because y'all probably didn't. But anyways, I found that jailbreak. But anyways, is that, like, they try to scare us out of having sex by talking about all of these horrible effects of STDs and everything, and unwanted pregnancies, and how having a kid in high school can ruin your life. But what they never seem to point out is this can happen even after you're older and you're ready and you're married. This can all still happen. So, I mean, my life choices and, based on my religious views, I mean, I'm not doing any of that until I'm married, until someone has, infinitized our relationship. Because if you think about it, two rings together can make the infinity sign, sort of. But all of those, like, we can get all of those STDs and all that, and, like, get pregnant when we're not ready for a kid after, like, even after we're married, and it's just, like, and two, they're saying that we shouldn't, like, have sex until we get married. That's basically a religious view, actually, and the last time I heard, they're not supposed to be scarfing their religious views down our throats. So, and thirdly, they never talk about the positive effects of all these things. And no, there aren't that many, but they always report the statistics that are directly related to negative things. They never talk about the other half of that 100%, or that other 78% or 12% or whatever, that whose lives aren't ruined, who stay in high school after having a kid, who don't get abortions, who are pro-life and pro-choice, so they don't do any of that, and who make it by and live a full, happy life even with an STD, and who whose relationships are strengthened by the show of support after finding out all these things. And one of the reasons why teen mothers have to go on welfare and get support from the government is because no one helps them out. Because teen pregnancy and teen motherhood is viewed as such a negative thing. That's actually why I came up with the Days of Our Lives storyline that I did, to offer a new perspective on the subject, because, I mean, the overall idea of that is, if you wouldn't leave, if you wouldn't abandon a 28-year-old who was pregnant and, couldn't really afford anything but wanted to keep their child, why would you do that to someone half their age who's going through the exact same thing and possibly more? Okay, so enough about that. It's been on my mind for a while. Ever since, people they actually had speakers come in and talk about that. Let me see here. Oh yeah, I have dietetics first period, and I got a D on a test that I didn't even have, I had been absent for 2 out of, the 4 days that week. So, I mean, I didn't have all of the information. I still got a D, whoop whoop, and it was a pretty high D, man. So, but anyways, so last night's episode of American Crime. Let's talk about that. I mean, I do feel bad that the West guy had to die and everything, that he died, that he did die. But if you had, captions, or if you listened real closely, he was threatening to kill Taylor. So, just for being on the property, and just for his sexuality being exposed. And it's odd that he was calling him a faggot, because his fellow basketball teammate, Eric, is gay, and he doesn't seem to treat Eric like that. Well, he didn't seem to treat Eric like that. You could definitely tell that Taylor was on edge. He was making a list of his targets. That's why he was, it seemed to be like he was going backwards in order of the list that he created. He was going after Dr. Graham first, but he started reconsidering it, actually. I believe. But then Wes came on and started calling him such horrible insults and threatening to kill him and calling him a rat, jumping to conclusions way too fast and just getting mad at him for being on school property, basically. So, I mean, all of this circles back to the party that Kevin LaCroix threw. And to be honest, this whole story, like this whole season's plot and subplots are making it seem like the whole crime here, that the actual American crime is teen parties with underage drinking and drugs. Because this is basically just, like, the show this season is basically just, portraying different, effects and different, spirals of the teens' lives, all because of this one party. So, I mean, Eric had to come out in order to prevent being, in order to prevent being arrested. And let's talk about that whole Eric thing. I mean, the caption said skin slices. So I'm pretty sure he got a sharp object and sliced that guy's face. But, I mean, let's face it. There was that one scene early on where Eric was making out with this older guy that he knew that had, like, muscle car. And, like, the guy tried to go further than just making out, and Eric just wasn't comfortable with that. And Eric basically said up front with this new guy that he just wanted to make out. And it's odd because he's been having such an easy time just like calling Taylor, and excuse my language, but just calling Taylor a bitch, and just, saying how Taylor wanted all of this, but not being able. It seems like he's not able to do that with a different guy. And what I'm thinking is that it actually was rape, and that Eric is feeling a guilt, which is why he can't do anything more than just making out with a guy. And then there's also the fact that Eric started talking to this other guy, like this other guy was, I forget his name. They said it at one point, but like this other guy was his therapist. And the guy got mad because, when you just, I know this from different classmates talking about different things. But when you're just going for sex, you don't want to hear about all the drama in the other person's life. And the guy technically did warn Eric, but Eric just continued, because when you've gone through so much as Eric has, that's what you want to do. You want to tell someone. You just want to let it all out with someone who doesn't fully understand the story, so they can't judge you. So that's my theories, and I'm gonna stop talking right now because this is already way too long. So yeah. Bye, guys. And have a good weekend, since tomorrow's Friday. TGIF, baby! Oh, yes. The school is starting to notice me as the girl who comes in, like, who misses most of the week, even though we were out Monday, but who misses most of the week and just comes on the last day. I get sick a lot. Last night I actually had a panic attack. So yeah. Okay, bye, guys.